All right, so good morning, everybody, and welcome to the 2021 kickoff meeting of On the Bus Sales Training, Coaching, and Consulting, and thank you all for coming. And as we do with all events, why don't we start with introductions, and I will randomly pick you, and you can give your 30-second to 1-minute introduction, and we'll see how that goes. David Quick, why don't we start with you?
Okay, David Quick, Total Cover IT, your IT specialist for business. What will bring your business to a grinding halt in no time? Downtime, viruses, ransomware. Do you know if you've even been hacked? Hackers can be lingering on your network for months. You've not even know about it. That's why you need a company like Total Cover IT, where we provide you all security and protection that you need, as well as making sure you stay up and running and taking care of all of those Mac and PC issues. A good sweet spot for me would be a professional firm, like an accounting firm or a law firm with 10 to 50 employees, but certainly we'll take referrals outside of that. David Quick, Total Cover IT, where our eye is on your T.
All right, thank you, David. Renee, let's go to you.
Good morning, everyone. Renee from Renee's Bookkeeping. We help clients keep on top of their financial numbers. This time of year, there might be companies who are sitting there going, I have no idea how much money I made this year. I have no idea if I broke even, if I, how I'm doing. They might know they have money in the bank, and that might be a good indication that they did okay. So what we do for our clients is keep them on top of their financial numbers on a monthly basis so that they can more easily and strategically plan out their year. If they see problems, they can address them right away. And they can also, their accountants can work with the QuickBooks. That's what we generally use. So they can stay on top of their tax payments and be kind of ahead of the curve at the end of the year. So this way they can do budgeting. So that's what we do, is we help clients in that way. If they're busy and they don't want to do it anymore, maybe they're not particularly good at it, we will make sure that all those numbers are available for them. Every month they get a P&L. And that's what we do. We try to help them out so there's a little less pressure come this time of year, and they can file. Most of our clients file on time. And so if you know anyone who needs a bookkeeping service, we're happy to help them. Thank you. Renee from Renee's Bookkeeping.
Thank you. Jen Peel.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jen Peel. I'm with M&T Bank. I'm the branch manager in Parsippany. And my sweet spot and what I really like to do and help are small businesses, specifically trades and professional services is where I kind of have a little bit of a niche, that have under $2 million in revenue each year. A lot of times bigger banks don't like to work with these small businesses, but we have a relationship approach, and these are really the people that probably need help. They're busy running their business and doing what they do, maybe not so good with finances or keeping on top of them, and that's where I can come in and help them. So I am Jen Peel with M&T Bank in Parsippany.
Thank you, Jen, and Jen will be speaking momentarily. Dave Castle.
Hello, everyone. Dave Castle from Brick and Mortar Marketing. I am a full service marketing agency. I specialize in SEO. I do all the websites. I do a lot of your social media and consulting along all these lines. A lot of business owners have come to realize that the marketing world is like trying to learn another language. So I simplify that. I do a lot of explaining through screen capture videos so that you're not left in the dark, so you know what's going on and how things work. And the benefit is showing up on search results where you need to be. And I also help people create content like videos, commercials, and explainer videos so that their message gets out there. And that's, in my world, is called consumable content, which is what helps fill up the front page of Google with your business and your stories. So Dave Castle, Brick and Mortar Marketing.
Thank you. And we'll be hearing from David later as well. Steve Barkley.
Sure, I'm unmuted. Good morning, everyone. Steve Barkley, Exceptional Stone Products. We work on the exterior of people's homes and businesses for the most part. We do interior work, but our mainstay is solving people's drainage problems. If you know anybody with sump pumps and the horrors that go along with that, we so to say, try to put your sump pump out of business. We make the water go around your structure. That's the main thing we get called in on. We've this past year worked in Vermont, Pennsylvania, all over New Jersey, solving those types of problems and creating gorgeous stonework, one-of-a-kind stonework, and interactive areas outside people's homes, whether it's a bench on the, next to the front step, or a nice patio with a fire pit in the backyard. So we do help people buy and sell homes, get them prepped for sale, and once people buy them, we solve those problems. So Steve Barkley, Exceptional Stone Products.
All right, Steve, thanks for joining us. Marco.
Happy New Year, everyone. My name is Marco Demel Petersen. I'm from Studio Dumel, and I'm a graphic design agency. So where David, he focuses on websites and SEO, I focus on the visual identity. So logo design, branding, visual communication for the different things. And I also have a niche that is environmental design. So that's signage for businesses, branding on walls, wayfinding for offices. But my core skill is visual identity in many different ways. So I help you communicate the right message to the right audience so you can attract the people you want to work with. And so it's all cohesive and looks visually compelling, and it's all aligned with the visual approach that your company wants to communicate. So Marco Demel from Studio Demel.
And I'll thank Marco momentarily, but he does all our graphics and he does a terrific job. Christina,
you're that Marco.
Hello, David. Good to see you.
Okay. Christina.
Likewise.
Hi, my name is Christina Amiot. I'm the president and owner of Inform HR. We're a human resources consulting company in Tinton Falls, New Jersey. We have clients in about 20 different states. And what we do is we provide outsourced human resource services, probably similar to the IT that David's providing for his clients, but just on the HR front. They don't need a full-time HR person yet. Most of them are between 20 and 80 employees, but they still need to know that they're paying people properly, that they have the right policies, complaints are being investigated, all those different types of things. So we fill that niche until they need to hire somebody permanently. So Christina Amiot, Inform HR.
Thank you for joining us. Karen Lee.
I'm Karen Lee. I'm sorry, I have a terrible background here. I'm in the mountains. It's snowing. It's beautiful. But anyway, my company is Narrative. We improve business performance through employee engagement, communication, and culture. We have a proprietary personality assessment called the Narrative Big Five assessment. And we use a lot of research-based assessments in our work. Karen Lee, Narrative.
And you'll be hearing from Karen later as well. Joe.
Hello, everyone. Joseph Bonadeo with Edward Jones, right out of Parsippany, New Jersey. And over the last 26 years, I've been helping people, not only in New Jersey, but around the country, retire happily. And how I do that, I help them with their 401ks. If they don't have a pension, I help them create one. Or even if they lose their employment, I'll help them roll over their 401k into an IRA, so that way, they're optimizing their portfolio. In addition to that, I help people with their long-term care and even any other types of insurance needs. So in other words, you can see we do comprehensive planning. So for the new year, if any of you have a New Year resolution, or if you know of anybody that could use some help with their preparing for retirement or even living in retirement, please call me. It's a free portfolio review. Joseph Bonadeo, Edward Jones, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Thanks for joining us. Jeannie?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Jeannie Asante, and I hail from the New York market. I'm really excited, though, because I am global. But my business is I Dream of Jeannie. I own and operate this company, and it's a there's multiple companies within that same company. So, but my passion today is identity theft protection. And the reason that that's my passion is because my question to you would be, if you knew that you were going to get into a car accident going down the road, would you cancel your car insurance just before? Absolutely not. But if your ID is going to be stolen, and it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when, because of everything that's going on right now, Wouldn't you want to be able to protect that? Wouldn't you want to know that you have someone watching your back? And that would be Jeannie. So thank you so much. If you want to protect your identity, call Jeannie Asante.
Thank you. And Jerry? Nope, you're muted.
Good afternoon, everybody. Jerry Cantalupo, Anchor Payroll and Human Capital Management Solutions. Simply put, we work together with business owners to build, create, build and implement human capital management processes and strategies to make their business more efficient. We do this in various areas like payroll, time and attendance, HR support, employee electronic onboarding, and a host of other things that will provide solutions and benefit the overall culture of the business for retention and continued business success. Jerry Cantalupo in the storms of HCM, this anchor holds.
All righty. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I appreciate you investing your time with us. Stay as long as you can. I'm going to do my best to get us out of here inside of an hour, hour and a half max as scheduled. We are going to have 3 guest speakers, 3 award recipients, and some quick closing comments. And I'm just going to open us up with some a little bit of an opening comment, if that's okay. All right. Does that sound good to everybody? Okay. All right. So just some quick thank yous before we even start. So I need to thank David Quick for keeping my IT up and running and always being there when I need him at a moment's notice. As recently as this morning, we needed David, and he's on it right away. And that's some peace of mind, and I'm really appreciative of that. And as somebody just logged on, I lost my note. There we go. I want to thank Renee for keeping our books up to date for years and years. I am not an easy client, and she's very patient with me. And I appreciate you, Renee. So thank you for that. Gilbert, who's not on here today, I'd like to thank for mining LinkedIn for us. We did get a new client this year through his efforts, and we've gotten a couple in years past. And he's a great member. And just wanted to say thank you to him. Marco, who does our graphics and many of your graphics and is always available and kind of gives us that on the bus discount. And I appreciate you, Marco, and I appreciate the work, and that not just that you do the work, but you save it. So when I can't find it, I can call you up and say, hey, can you send me that for the 3rd time? I need it again. So thank you for that. Dave Castle, who has quickly become like my best friend in the world, who I talk to 27 times a day, because as you'll find out later, we have a new website. We have a lot of new things going on that Dave and I created in the last week or so. And he's been a dream to work with, and I recommend him highly. Lisa Orzetti, who's not here today, but she's my office partner. Many of you know her from Bang and other areas, but I'm hoping she'll jump in later. And we are going to look to rent out our office space if anybody needs any, and we can have that conversation. And Jen Peel, who's with us today, just for always having my back, being my banker, being available to all of you, and just being one of those very safe referrals where I can introduce anyone to her, and I know she's going to do the right thing and not necessarily try to pitch them, but take care of them and their needs. So, thank you for that, and thank you just for the confidence and the support you've shown in us over the years. So I think we can say without a doubt that 2020 was a different kind of year for all of us, right? I think we can all agree with that. I'm proud of all of you. You adapted, you pivoted. Most of you ended up having record years, or at least some growth in areas where you didn't have any before the pandemic started. So congratulations on kind of making it to the other side. And I thank you for sticking with us. And I think you all realize the power of community and accountability. And I think you've seen what has happened to many of your competitors that aren't in organizations like On the Bus. That there's some value here. It helps us know what day of the week it is. It helps us get off the couch. It helps us engage. And it also helps us to stop and to get work-life balance and family time and all of that. So 2021 marks our 12th year in business at On the Bus. So we started on New Year's Eve, 2010. And this is exciting. And I'm proud of all the years, but none more than this past one. This was a good year for us and a big year for us, and we were able to be there for our clients, and that's what we do. So we did develop a number of products this year. So it's funny, March last year, we had just opened new offices. We were, you know, there was talk of this thing spreading around. I remember being at a podium saying, oh, don't worry, we'll be here next week. And sure enough, we haven't been back to podium since. And, you know, the whole world changed, and didn't see that coming. But on some level, we were ready. We were all ready using Zoom. We were opening a new office down by Asbury Park. We put the brakes on that, but we were already going in a virtual direction. But we did start some new events, and we have started some new products in the past year. So we started VANG, Virtual Area Networking Group, which now meets every Thursday at 9 a.m. And it's good. And I don't want to share my screen, but we had over 20 people there this past Thursday. There's the right energy, they're the right people. It's a good time. I think we just had our 27th meeting. So, you know, I'm pretty happy about that. We do meet every Thursday at 9 a.m. Please come, there's no charge. We had 35 sales training classes on Zoom. We did 20 virtual bus trips. We did a handful of lunch and learns, hundreds of one-to-ones. You guys hired multiple people this year, the members. We had a killer trade show that I met many of you at. So I think all in all, we've all adapted pretty well to this working virtual thing. I'm in the process of opening a second location in Woodstock, New York. Many of you know that's where I'm talking to you from now. And we already have some new members that are interested. And so now we will have an Ulster County address and a Morris County address. And I'm interested in seeing where that all goes. We have added some advanced classes for this year, and they will be on Thursday afternoons from 2 to 4. For those of you that can't make Tuesday mornings from 10 to 12, I hear what you're saying. So now we've added Thursday afternoons. We will have 4 trade shows this year based on the success of last year. I am going to offer you guys, for those that made it to the show last year and took a booth, I'm going to grandfather you in. And for those of you, meaning on the price, and for those of you that sign up for all 4 for next year, I'm going to give you free meeting rooms. Not the essential room, but the extra rooms if you want private meeting rooms. And we can talk about those things. So I'm excited about the trade show. And again, we're going to have 4. Our next one is coming up on March. It'll always be the first Friday of the month, except in September because there's Labor Day, but it's, and it's all on the calendar. But I think March 5th is our next one, and then June 3rd and September 7th and December 4th, something like that. But it's all on the calendar. And you do get the 2 classes before and the one after. And we do have extra techs joining us now. And we're doing a lot to build this thing and make it great for all of you. On our new website, which we launched today, I don't know how many of you saw that, but we are now offering subscriptions to chapters of my book. So 2 years ago, I wrote a book. Last year, we used many of the chapters for our classes and we videotaped that. So now you can get a chapter of the book and the class at a subscription price. And we can talk about that later. But I just wanted to let you know that it's there. So far this year, we have a number of new members. And so the date today is the 8th. And so far this year, Christina, just wave when I introduce you. So Christina joined us and she's on bus 101. I lost my place here. Karen Lee joined us and she's on bus 103. David Castle's on 103. Jeannie's on 103. I can't see her. I assume her screen's off. Yeah, but she's on bus 103. So I'm excited about that. We are not going to increase prices this year. I'm more interested in filling our seats. So there is no price increase this year. Normally we go up a little bit each year. We're not going to do that this year, but I do have 10 seats to fill and I'd love your help filling those seats. And that's not a big number. It's certainly something we can do. So there's quite a bit going on and I hope you'll take advantage of all of it. I did work on the calendar, and the calendar is complete for next year. And I didn't total the number of events, but it's pretty packed. And come to as much as you can. It's there for you. All right. So I'd like to bring on our first speaker. And I think we've done a pretty good job during the pandemic of keeping you up to date with information. I remember in April, the first week of April, we had the SBA come and speak to all of you as to what the plan was and what was going on. And since then, we've developed our own, no offense to Jen, but our own Dr. Fauci of sorts. And Jen Peel has very much become our Dr. Fauci and who we go to for information. And I know that she had a meeting with the SBA, I think Wednesday, and had more information yesterday. So we have very fresh information coming. So Jen, our Dr. Fauci, will you come up and talk to us a little bit, please?
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks, Chris, for the introduction. Can you guys hear me okay, or is it better if I take the mask? All right. All right. I'll take the mask off as long as nobody's around me. But what I wanted to do there, the guidance is being kind of delivered every day, a little bit here and a little bit there, but there were just some big announcements. And I kind of wanted to just kind of bring everybody up to date, give you some facts, give you some information on what's going on with the SBA and PPP. There's now 2 phases of it. There's the first phase in forgiveness, and now there's a second round that's coming. So it's a lot of information, and it could be very confusing. So please reach out to me if you have questions. I'm always happy to help. And so I'm just going to dig in and just kind of go through some facts and information. And if you have questions, I don't know if there's time here, we could do it, or please follow up with me afterwards, because I do want to help. So as most of you know, that last year, at the end of the year, they did approve a second round of PPP funding, and there was some information in that went along with the first round. But there was $284.5 billion more dollars promised, and that's for first-time and second-time borrowers. There is a possibility that if you got the first round funding, that you can get a second loan. There are some caveats to that. So not everybody's eligible. You have to have it under 300 employees, and you also have to prove a revenue reduction of at least 25%. So if you got the first round, you have to have those 2 things in place in order to do the second round. This bill also created a simplification on the first round. So if you did get a first loan from them, the forgiveness application is changing and simplifying. So if your loan was for under $150,000, you as the borrower can sign and submit a 1-page certification that basically you just list the loan amount, the number of employees that you were able to retain, and then the estimated amount of loan that you spent on payroll costs. And that's all you'd need to do to have it forgiven. It's not available yet, but that's what's coming. So a lot of these things are kind of information that's happening, but it's not effective as of yet. But I wanted to bring you up to date as to what we know. There was also in the first round with the CARES Act, anybody who got PPP money and EIDL money, they now can deduct the EIDL advance and have that combined and be forgiven as well. That was like a back and forth thing, but now EIDL money will also be forgiven. So M&T did a really good job with the first round of funding. We're ramping up for the second round. So I'll just give a little plug for M&T, and I can tell you that I'm sure some of you experienced or heard horror stories of businesses trying to get lending, not having a good experience, not being able to get anybody on the phone. I can tell you that if you do bank with M&T, and I know some of you do, and you meet the requirements, you would be eligible to do the second round of funding. I got pulled in on the first round to work on the loans. That's going to happen again. They've already prepped us. I'm part of the surge team. And it's exciting. And the benefit to you as an M&T customer is you can call me and I can give you all the information on your loan. I can tell you what the status is. I can tell you if something's missing. I can tell you if you have something wrong, if something needs to be re-signed. I did it in the first round and I can do it in the second round. But M&T is only taking applications from customers. So what that means for you is if you're not currently an M&T customer, but this is, you'd maybe like to be because the process could be simpler than what you've experienced before, you just need to open a business checking account prior to when M&T opens their application for the second round of funding. So that's a couple weeks away, so we do have time to do it. So please reach out to me sooner rather than later if that's something you want to explore, because I can definitely help you. A couple of key dates to keep in mind. So on Wednesday is when the SBA finally delivered. They had 10 days from when the bill was signed by the president on the 27th of December. So they had until January 6th to release the guidance and the rules for first-time PPP borrowers and then second-time borrowers. So that did happen, and we got some of that information. They had 24 days from that date to kind of streamline this forgiveness if your loan was under $150,000, which I mentioned before. So they have till January 20th. They had 24 days for this to get all of the guidance out for that. So there's more to come when it comes to that. So that's why I said, if you got the PPP loan the first time around and it's under $150,000 and you haven't applied for forgiveness yet, just sit tight for another couple weeks and wait, and the process should be very simple. So I know people are anxious to kind of get that done, but just hold tight for another, probably till the end of January, and then it'll just be a simple process for you.
Can I ask a question, or do we wait on questions?
You can ask, go ahead.
So two things, Jen. One, how important though is it is the forgiveness application need to be done now, or can it wait another 5 or 6 months? I think there's too much. What do you think? You can definitely wait.
I forget what the timeline was, but I think it's 11 months or 10 months from when the forgiveness application was first released. So you have time.
There was I heard there were some companies that actually applied for forgiveness before the other guidelines came out, and they kind of missed out on it. So a lot of CPAs
exactly
just wait until the guidelines are in place. Maybe
exactly.
They know. And
you're exactly right.
The second question is, isn't there a little bit extra in the pot for restaurant groups?
Yes, there is. So Renee would know what I'm talking about. If you have a NAICS code of 72 that starts with 72 businesses, so there are any accommodations and food service, so your whole hospitality, restaurant industries, you're actually eligible for an increase in what other businesses would be eligible for their loan amount. So yes, that's the difference.
Thank you.
Good question. Yep.
I should point out, hold on, Steve. I should point out that Jen Peel is always available, and you can always reach out to her privately if you don't want to jam us up here. But if it's a question that could benefit the group, by all means, ask.
Yeah, definitely.
Steve, did you have a question, or you want to just reach out to Jen privately?
I'll reach out to her.
Very good.
Okay. So keep in mind that those deadlines or timelines, the January 6th and then the January 20th, are just when the SBA is releasing their guidance and information. That's not when applications are going to be available. I've already received emails from people who have given me their applications, and I'm like, it's not even available yet. So just keep in mind that the forgiveness is a little bit farther away, and then the second round is a little bit sooner. So if you do plan on applying for the second round, there's a couple things you can do now to kind of get yourself ready. Make sure you gather up your ownership information, and your certificate of formation, your tax ID number, copies of your year-to-date payroll reports, and any payroll tax reports, so your 940, 941, or 944, whichever one you may use. Start to gather that up now. It'll just help you when the applications are released. It'll make it a little more streamlined. And then So a couple other things that I just recently read in the last like 24 hours. So the SBA tentatively plans on starting to accept applications late next week or early the following week. So that's like probably next Thursday, Friday, or early like the week of the 18th for first-time borrowers only. So if anybody didn't apply for the first round and wants to apply for the second round and they don't have one already, that's going to be their time frame. And then if you had one and you're going to apply for a second, that's going to be shortly thereafter. So there could be 2 waves of the way the applications come out. So just be aware of what category you're in, because that's going to hold up the process. If you aren't eligible because you got the first one and you apply when only the first people are supposed to apply, it could hold up your application. So that's when the SBA is anticipating. I can say that as M&T in the first round, when the SBA began accepting applications, M&T held off for a few days to just make sure our application that we released kind of had all of its T's crossed and I's dotted, kinks worked out to kind of roll out a better, more streamlined process, and it worked in our advantage. So I would expect that that happens again. So any of you who are M&T customers, whatever date M&T or the SBA says they're going to accept applications, expect it to be a few days, if not a week later, that we release ours. If you are an M&T customer, you'll be getting email updates as to what's going on. So you may have already started to receive them, and they may be like Greek to you. So reach out to me, you know, if you need help kind of deciphering what it means for you and your situation. And like I said before, I expect to be pulled in to work on the due diligence phase of the loan application process. So that gives me access to all the information. So it's a good reason to bank with M&T. So if you need an excuse, you know, it's a good reason. So and if you don't, I'm happy to help anyway. I help plenty of people who didn't bank with M&T or missed out on the opportunity to apply with M&T, and I was able to help them with third-party lenders that could help them because they couldn't get answers from their own bank. So happy to answer any questions that you guys have, you know, offline. Happy to open business checking accounts if you're looking for a relationship bank. I will promise I'll take care of you. And that's pretty much what we know so far.
Hey, Jen, just to show you off for a second, what was your guys' success rate on the first round on the loans?
So of the, we took in about close to between 30 and 40,000 applications, and just to give you some comparison, and that was in like, I don't know, like an 8-week time period. In a normal year, we'll do about 8,000 SBA applications we'll receive in a year. So we did like triple, quadruple that amount in 8 weeks of time. Of the eligible applications that we received, it was about a 97% rate of people who got lending.
All right, so you can see that Jen is not somebody who's just reading about this. She's not a techspert. She's definitely an expert on the front lines for us. So I can't recommend reaching out to Jen highly enough, whether you're an M&T member or not. Any questions, or we're going to move on? Jen, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity.
All right.
Thank you.
So let's do our first MVP award. And for those of you that don't know, we do have these virtual bus trips that we put owners of companies on a bus ride together once a month, and they go out for 4 hours, share challenges and opportunities, and come back with having committed to doing something by the next bus trip. And our bus 102, which consists of Lois and Sarah, and they're both going to take leave of absence for a little bit. And Gilbert, Renee, David Quick, and Marco are on this board. And if you guys just want to give a wave, it's a fun board for sure, but there is a serious side. And we did have a tie this time between Lois and Gilbert. And for those of you that don't know either of them, Lois has a fitness training company called Fitness Knocking. And she started off the year with a different name. We got her a trademark. She's now starting to think about franchising and doing some other things. She's up to 17 employees and landing some corporate accounts which she hadn't done prior to the pandemic. And I think that's partially why people voted for her. And Gilbert, his business, he changed his model this year to one of a community-based model, and he's growing by leaps and bounds and just doing great. And he's a good person to be on a bus with. And so congratulations to the two of them, and we'll get them a certificate. I wish they were here, but it does move our morning along, doesn't it? So that takes care of that. So and so Karen had to jump, but I'm going to tell you a little bit about Karen and her product, and she was our next presenter, which will also help us time-wise. So many of you know that I'm a little crazy when it comes for personality traits, things like DISC, and the importance of evaluating the people that are around us and how to tell, how to present to them. You know, you've heard me give talks on this many times, that you would leave a voicemail or send a quote differently to a D than you would to a C. And we have classes on this every year. And I met Karen very much through Gilbert. Gilbert was mining LinkedIn for us, and I needed a new way of doing DISC evaluations. And we found Karen, and then she came to a trade show, and now she's a member. And I got to know her product very well, and I introduced her to Christina, and I know they had a talk, and you got to know her as well, and her product a little bit. But the more I've gotten to know her product, the more excited I am about it. And it's much more than DISC, it's much more than Myers-Briggs, and it's really valuable. So what I did was I bought a subscription for all of our members. And so everybody on the bus will now have a free evaluation using her Big Five, her narrative Big Five product. And we will have a lunch and learn featuring her in April, where we can review this. So we have some time, but I'm excited about a new language that we can use that's deeper and wider than DISC, if that makes sense. Any questions on that? Good, so we'll keep moving. Okay, so we'll do another award. This is the fastest one of these we've ever done. Christina, I think we'll be out of here by 1 o'clock. We're good. So we're going to talk about Bus 101. And this bus consists of Angelo, who's been with us most of his adult life. I think he's in his 19th year. Ed Gunther, who's, and Angelo's in the IT world. Ed Gunther is in the insurance brokerage world. Dan Keller is George J. Keller Roofing, and they do roofing, siding, solar, windows, that kind of stuff. Dan Jones, who owns an underground radar company. So if you're going to dig and you need to know if there's pipelines or oil tanks or those kinds of things, he's going to say, no, 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 you can't dig there. And he has equipment that will do that. And Christina is with us. And Christina, as you're here, why don't you tell us briefly what you do so everybody can know and give you some benefit?
Sure, thanks. So as I mentioned before, we do human resources consulting. So for most of our clients that are between 20 to 80 employees, we do have some outliers, but most of them don't have full-time human resources. So we will be somebody who will come in to do any and all that they need. So we could either be their fully outsourced HR, where we process the payroll using whatever payroll platform they have, administer the benefits, do the recruiting, firing, performance reviews, or we also have one-off things. Like a client I was just dealing with before this meeting has somebody that they let go because they laid off. They no longer need her to be handling social media in-house. They just don't have enough of that work, so they laid her off, and she's accusing them of laying her off because she's a woman and is married and has a growing family, and that's not why they laid her off. So preparing kind of that response for them and their attorney so that they can go back to her and say, hey, this is the severance we're able to give you. We can't give any more because of financial constraints. So those are the kind of things we do. We do have some outliers, some really large clients, in which case they have full HR departments, but they'll ask us to come in to do things that they don't want to do in-house, such as an investigation of a complaint or a training. So usually good referral sources for us are employment attorneys, because they'll want us to investigate something so they can litigate it. So it's a good win-win. And I also often refer to employment attorneys because sometimes I need an attorney to make that determination of something. Business attorneys are good because they draft a lot of the legal agreements that our clients need. Most of our clients are small to mid-sized growing entrepreneurial companies, so they need a lot of those documents. CPAs are excellent, IT, kind of anyone, banking, you know, Jen, a lot of your, most of our clients are professional services. So those are, you know, if they're looking for funds because they're growing, then they might also not have a human resource space, and vice versa. I might be able to refer them into, hey, are you happy with your bank who is handling your PPP loan? So those are kind of, that's a little bit about what we do.
Thank you. So, and welcome.
Thank you.
Bus 101 is our larger companies. We are between $1 million and $10 million there. And our winner of the MVP this year was Dan Keller. And Dan Keller owns George J. Keller Roofing, Siding, and Solar and Windows, and he's wonderful. And Dan came to us a $6 million company, and now he's well above 10. And then we have big plans in place. The nice thing about Dan is he doesn't miss a board meeting no matter what. Twice this year, he was having medical procedures during the board meeting. One, he had to get some kind of allergy shot, and the other, he was having blood taken. You know, during the board meeting, he's doing this. So he takes it seriously. And he does what he says he's going to do. And I think that's a real tribute to part of the accountability aspect, that if you say you're going to do something to your bus, you're going to do it, right? And I think we all can attest to it. So anyway, Dan Keller, congratulations, and I will send you your certificate. And we're almost done. Look at this. So we are going to move along to our last speaker, and then we're going to do another award at the end, a Most Improved Award, which I'm excited about. But as I mentioned earlier, and none of you have had a chance to really see it because we are announcing it here for the first time, we have built a completely new website, and I was due. And Dave Castle has done all of this. I want to thank David Quick for the introduction to Dave Castle. But he has also taken my book and is putting it on Kindle. And that's a big deal. All right, we have a new cover on the book. The book will be released here in a subscription model, and he'll show you that with videos. And for me, this is exciting stuff. You know, I can't do this stuff for myself, and I needed a Dave Castle in my life. And he's just going to take a moment to let you know a little bit about what his sweet spot is and what he can do, which isn't necessarily what I had him do. But hopefully he'll show you the website a little bit too. Go ahead, Dave.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Chris. You know what? I should have done this a second ago. Pardon me.
Well, while you're doing that, I can't thank you enough for all the work that you've done in the last week. You've been great.
It really means a lot to me, Chris. I appreciate that. So has anybody here, show of hands, anybody seen the site? Did anybody log in through there this morning? A couple guys, okay. So, well, I'll show you the site, and then I'll tell you a little bit about myself, or I'll tie it together. If I can share my screen.
What they'll probably care most about is the events area, just so you know.
Okay, so nice clean look, and we have his phone. Everywhere you see his phone number, you can just click it on your mobile and get Chris on the phone, or take it up with Chris. A lot of information down through here, number of pages, the services. You know, I don't know how in depth we need to go with this, but it's
not in depth.
Yeah, okay, not so much under the hood. Okay, I get that. So to find the events calendar, it's under services and events. So you hit that. It's on a couple of other pages as well, but basically you just scroll down and it is a Google Calendar. If you need to get a link for something, you click on it. It opens up. The link is, you know, most of us are familiar with Google Calendar. Feel free to reach out. It's pretty straightforward. And let me minimize this because on my screen, the controls from the controls from Zoomer on my tabs part of the website. So it's pretty simple. The Google Calendar works on all your devices and so on. You guys get all of that. There's contact information. I'm still bringing in the blog. I don't have that in here yet. The other thing Chris wants you to see is the workbook. And this is the cover, and there's PayPal options here. This is going to be a subscription model. We're putting in, aside from videos, there's going to be a lot of support, and this is one of the things that that Chris is going to be facilitating with all of us. So, and that's that for the moment. Any questions on this or anything that way, or?
So David, did we establish a price?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did, but I didn't carry it over. There was a bit of a flurry just before we got this live. It's going to be $17 a month, and that is with all for each chapter throughout the year. And again, it's an additional support mechanism. It's an additional contact point for everybody, and so on. That will be here. It's in the backside of PayPal. I missed bringing that over, but
I think what we discussed is it's $17 for this month for people that sign up, going up to $27.
Yep. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What's your specialty in life?
Well, besides doing websites, and here I'll go back to the home page. I'm a marketing consultant. I'm a marketing agency. And what I do is help small companies understand where they're lacking online. It's really apparent to me that most small business owners have way too much to do to learn like their fifth language, which is marketing their business. So I make it really simple. I bring it to your level. And what I'm able to do is show you what your competition is doing so that you don't have to try and climb the Eiffel Tower from the outside. There's easy to follow steps that I take that make a lot of what you do or a lot of what we do together much simpler to convey to your potential clients and so on. My sweet spot is I'm an SEO guy, so search engine optimization. That is, in a short thing, that's making sure everything on your website is optimized for keywords so that your content shows up when somebody types in something, near them, a business near them, what have you. So one of the ways that I help you understand what I'm doing and the way I can guide you best is I do screen capture videos. I show you where you are, what you're kind of not doing right, and then what your competition is doing. So we don't have to reinvent the wheel. Often your competition isn't doing videos. They haven't taken care of their Google My Business. They haven't optimized on anything on their website. That's where I come in. So.
Okay. Can you take off the screen sharing, please?
Oh, I'd be happy to.
Any questions of David? All right, David.
I had a question for you, and maybe I misunderstood. So I know there's a subscription model, but is there, are you able to just buy just the book, or
Yep.
it's a,
Yep.
okay.
We will have that as well.
And it's on Kindle, you said, right?
It will.
It will be, yeah.
Okay.
Right now, it's just the website, but Kindle a week or so.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say a month. Let's what is it? Under promise, over deliver. So let's give it a month.
Okay, very good.
And where do you get hard copies?
Looking to do print on demand as well.
Okay,
so,
great.
Yeah.
I'm a note taker. Thank you.
Good. Yeah, very good. Thanks for asking.
And more importantly, the way we've been using it in the last year or so is you come to the classes, and that's where the real value is. It's a workbook, right? So that's what the intent is. And David Quick can attest to it. Marco, you've been to a few, and a few of you have. That's the intent. It's a workbook. Okay. All right, Dave Castle, thank you so much. Where'd my notes go? We're almost done. So as I mentioned, we do have one other award, and this is my favorite award, and we do this every year, and it's our most improved award. And there was 2 winners, and they were both on the same board, and there's a tie. And we have a tie between David Quick and Sarah. And Sarah Pearson has been with us, and she took her father's seat when he passed away. Sarah took the seat in the business, and this year she did a rebranding. And she really did a terrific job with the rebranding, and she used her bus well, and she tackled some big events. She was having some real zoning issues and political issues, and Renee can remember that. And, you know, Renee could get a little aggressive on how to handle that. And Sarah went with a little more tact, and, you know, Renee, the Jersey and Renee came out on that one. But it was really a good year for her, and proud of her. And David Quick has grown by leaps and bounds. When I hear David give his 30-second intro, I got to tell you the pride I feel for him. You know, when David came to us, he's not the man he is today. He has grown by leaps and bounds. What he doesn't talk about a lot is he is now franchisable, legally franchisable in 26 states. If you knew the work that was involved with that, I mean, that's impressive. He is a student. If there's a class, he's going to take it. And he did the whole Robin Robbins thing, and he's implementing it. And, you know, David, why don't you take a minute and tell us about your story, and then we'll wrap this up. Go ahead, David.
Sure. I mean, I didn't have anything prepared to
you don't know
today, but it's been a very interesting and challenging journey. I mean, we've done quite a bit of repositioning, particularly from a marketing perspective. I mean, as Chris had mentioned, now engaging in a very well orchestrated and directed marketing program. There's a lot of moving parts to that, and Dave Castle has helped me with a piece of that. So it's been all about getting more serious about moving business forward. I've been in business for 12 years. I started that business more as a side gig, and I've been full-time in the business for about 3 years now. So only 3 years, I really devoted my full attention to the business. And only more recently have I finally get to a point where I know what my strategy is and what I need to do to get the business moving. And a big part of that was my support network. I mean, on the bus, my board have helped me with that, and the accountability with that has helped me to keep moving, because I would hear about it from them if I didn't.
Yep. Thank you, David. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, so just to wrap things up, and we are going to be done by 1, so I'm pretty happy about that, and I assume you guys are as well. So just to highlight some of what we've gone over, that we are starting a new location. It's the 2nd location. On the Bus Goes to Woodstock kind of thing, and that's exciting. We are joining the chamber up here, and going to hold some events up here so we can network between Morris County and Ulster County and the counties in between. We are looking to rent our Morristown office. I'm just not using it. We have beautiful office space. If any of you need office space, please let me know. You know, we'll work something out, or I'm just gonna take a pause on the lease, which I did put into the contract, because I love the space, don't want to give it up. And for those of you that have been there, it's great space for us. We are going to offer advanced classes this year. I have close to 100 events on the calendar for next year. Please take a look, sign up. Everything has a Zoom link and its own individual link, so you can register in advance. It'll populate your calendar with the link and all of that. We do have some new lunch and learns planned for this year, starting in February. We have a great lunch and learn coming up. Please take a look. Please come, put these things on your calendar. We do have consistent dates. The lunch and learns and the trade shows are generally the first Friday of the month. VANG, Virtual Area Network Group, will continue, and it works. It's a lot of fun. It's a great group of people. We have fun, but I promise you business gets done. And it's really just been a great thing. Jen, we miss you, but we're glad you're sending Randy. Sorry, we had to pick a time slot and we went with morning. The big
I may pop in every now and then. I'll try to.
We hope you will. And the Big Five assessment, please get excited about that. Let's learn about, you know, what makes us all tick and what we're made of, and where our strengths and I don't want to say weaknesses are, but you know, where we're strong or high or low or whatever it is. But let's take these things together and learn from each other. The monthly subscription and the hard copies of the book. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I got to tell you, I was still editing it this morning. I don't think it's ever going to really be done. But sometimes done is better than perfect. And that's what I'm going with. So for now, it's up there. And it's been too long just sitting on my computer. It's time to share it. New members, new office, new buses, new locations, and 4 trade shows next year. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. The only thing that can make this better is more of you, is more members. The more people we have, the better this thing is. So please spread the word. Let's keep this growing. I thank you for spending the time with me this morning. It is 12:58. We are done. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Chris. Great.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend. Thank you.
Nice to meet you all. See you guys
Bye, everybody.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.